A few months ago, I made all these backgrounds. I filmed it, but didn't release at first. And now, today I'm going to show you how I made them and what I did with them. Stay tuned. Hello Gelli fans. Today I'm showing you how I made some backgrounds a couple of months ago, and they turn out really nice, some of them. I haven't done anything with those yet, but some of them were so dear to me instantly that I thought I'd make copies just to be able to try. I was afraid of ruining them, you know? You know that sometimes you love a background so much and then you ruin it with another print on it. So I made copies. This is the original, and this is the copy, and I think they are very good. It's a very good copy shop. And this one I loved a lot. And I printed cauliflowers on them later. And this one was the one I loved the most. And I made copies of this one as well. And later I made a video about how I printed this ghost ship on it. That was a white jelly print on a copied background. So if you want to see this, here's the link. But today I'm showing you how I made all the backgrounds. So these are the prints I am making today. I will be basically printing with acrylics and testing some resist techniques with water and oil. Now getting my gel plate ready. It is A4 size, and I made some marks on a larger paper because I want to print with a larger paper. I want to print with roughly 30 by 40 centimeter paper. And now I'm placing some drops of linseed oil on the gel plate before I put on the paint. The color is called quinacridone violet. It's a paint by Golden Open. No, not Golden Open. It's a golden fluid paint. And it's almost empty, so that's why I have all these circles from the rest of the bottle. And funnily enough, one can see these round impressions that I made later, which is not so good. So I'm putting on more oil, but it's obviously not working that well. I think I put too much oil and mixed it too much with the paint. So that's why it's not reacting anymore. So I'm coming in with the water, and that works. That first print, for some reason, failed miserably, so I'm not even showing you that. Sorry. And so I tried again with even more of the rest of the bottle and some more oil. And this time the resist works a little better because I think there's also still some water in it. So oil and water makes a good resist, obviously. As the pickup paint, I'm choosing the gold medium by Liquitex again, one of my beloved mediums, because it's very subtle. It's not too much of the gold. It's not like a gold paint. It's just a faint gold shimmer on the white paper. Putting the paper on and rubbing it a bit in, let it sit for a while. And I'm using the Hahnemühle paper in 30 by 40. It's a sketch paper, but it's quite sturdy. This is the result. Sorry, the filming was not really very good, but the result is very good. It really looks like a landscape already. I'm cleaning the gel plate thoroughly with a baby wipe. That is important if you work with resist techniques. To still get the rest of the paint out of the bottle, I'm diluting it with water, shaking it. And that was a good idea because that is a resist in itself. If you put water to a fluid paint, you don't really have to add much. As you can see, the resist works immediately and makes some nice blooms. But I am in a landscape mood, so I want to have horizontal lines, and I'm doing that with a brush. So I got horizontal beading now. I'm sorry I filmed it the other way. I thought it was better, but I really should do that in a landscape mode. Anyway, this turned out nice, and I wanted it to stay like this, so I'm coming in with a hairdryer and drying it. If you're printing on a larger paper, be sure to take off all the paint around the gel plate so that you don't have anything on the white areas of the print. This time I want to use a real gold color by a German brand called Marabu. It's really for school, for kids. And it also works fine as a pickup paint. This is sped up, but after I put the paper on the plate, I rubbed it in for a while and then also waited for let it sit for at least 10-15 minutes. And it's a nice print. It's a bit boring. I'm not going to do anything with it, but the gold is nice. It's a lot darker and more intense than on the other print. Next, another golden fluid paint, but this time it's not the fluid acrylics, but the high flow. And it is so fluid, so freaking fluid that you don't have to add any water or anything. I brayer it out until it's almost dry because I want to see how that looks. And that was a good decision. So same, cleaning the surroundings, putting the white paper on, leaving it on for 10 minutes, rubbing again. And the print is not very strong, but as you can see here in the right corner below, that's the interesting structure the brayer makes when it dries the paint on the gel plate. I did not take any paper to pick this up. I just want to check if there's any fluid parts anymore, but it seems pretty dry. And I want to pick this up from the gel plate, the residue, because it's so interesting. I'm using the gold medium again. And again, it's not the most exciting print I ever made, but I like the structure, and I'll see what I can do with it later. Next, another golden color. Sorry, it was not my intention to make a golden promo video. This is just a color I love now because the transparent orange, what was it called? Quinacridone orange or gold. That's not available anymore. This is the red iron oxide, and I don't think it's it makes such a difference. So I'm brayering it on quite thinly and then adding some water, and it already looks really interesting. I'm constantly disregarding my own advice, so there was quite a lot of black left as a residue on the plate, and that's what made this one a lot more interesting. So don't ever listen to my advice. It's just, I'm just talking. And now I want to try a Vallejo color, which I think is American. And it's a fluid paint, they say, but it's not that fluid that it has its own resistance making. So I'm spraying on water, and this is interesting because the effect is really different. It makes larger blooms, and yeah, it's just different. You will see how wonderfully amazing this turns out. And this is crucial. I'm taking the print while half of this is still wet. This is what makes this print so amazing. You have this cloudy appearance of the water mixing with the dried paint. Just amazing. There's still some water on the print, and I'm picking some up very carefully because I want to see the effect of that. But then I stop. I don't want to take off too much. Another go with the transparent red oxide. Again, there's some black residue on the jelly plate. And I'm mixing this with the gold medium on the plate and not mixing a lot, but only very shallowly mixing it. And then some water on for some resist and see what that cocktail brings us. This is sped up just a little, not too much, because I want you to see how the reaction is going on in the paint with the water. Again, I'm taking the print while a lot of the paint is still wet. And again, this is a wonderful mixture. I'm so proud of this one. Well, actually, I didn't do anything. The paint did it all by itself with the water. But I love it. And now for something completely different, as John Cleese would say. I'm using the hand dryer to push the paint around on the gel plate. I've never done it on the gel plate. I always do it on paper. But as you can see, it works on the gel plate as well. You have to try the wetness of the paint. Here I'm adding some water. Yeah, maybe add some water and then let it flow again. It's a little difficult, but it's okay. I'm using a black color and a red one and a brown one. I don't know what they were at the moment, but all the materials are always listed in my info box below the video. I'd recommend a blow dryer that you can put on cold, as the heat might damage the gel plate. Well, that looks kind of ugly, doesn't it? I'm taking some of the thicker paint off, and so I'm creating some holes actually there, which are good, but I took off a little too much, as you will later see. And when this has dried completely, I'm taking it off with the Liquitex gold medium again. Don't be confused. I'm just taking the back side of another print that I didn't like to save paper. I like the result a lot. It has a little too big of two holes there, but I like the subtlety of the liquid gold, Liquitex gold medium. And as I said in the beginning, I made copies in a copy store of the ones that I liked the most to try out some different things. And this is an cauliflower that I cut in pieces. Don't worry, I still ate half of it. And yeah, I want to see if they look like trees. And as the cauliflower has a lot of delicate textures, I'm using the etching ink by Akua. It is soy-based and easily cleaned with water afterwards, or soap and water. And yeah, so don't worry about that, and it doesn't harm the gel plate at all. So I'm taking some prints here, and then cleaning the surroundings. So I have only the cauliflower shape, which I hope is going to look like trees. The cotton swabs work quite well here if you want to go around the shape. You can also use masking tape. I knew it. That masking tape leaves interesting structures, so I'm very tempted to leave them. But that's not what I want to do today. I've actually made another video about this, which I will link here. And I'm showing you closely here how I'm printing the cauli trees on. And I'm not sure. They're called cauliflowers and not cauli trees. And I don't think it's that great. But it was worth a try, and I'll try another one of the copies. I'm masking out the area where the trees want to go. And this time I'm pressing the etching inked up cauliflowers themselves on. And the marks are a lot better, I think, if you print it directly. Don't you think? I think the other ones are better. And I want to add some lines in the trees, some outlines with the Micron fine liner that is a brush, that is very brush-like. I love that one. I'm still not so happy with them. So I have another idea. I'm just painting the cauliflowers again with the Marabu gold school paint. And as the black paint on the cauliflower is actually still wet, they're kind of mixing a little bit. That should be interesting. Making sure the cauli has contact everywhere. And voila, that worked nicely. Already have the shadows there. Good idea. The second tree has a little too much color on it. I'm trying to take some off with my fingers or with the tissue, and then I have the idea to press some plastic on it to get it even a little more textured. So a little recap. This one I have made 2 African landscapes with, I think, elephant trees, maybe they're called. But I have more copies of that one. And this one I made a ghost ship with. This one I think it can almost go as an artwork of its own, and I don't have to work it out at all, I think. And I still have these ones as well. And this video was supposed to end with this, but last night I had the strangest idea. And here's a little preview of what's coming. It's a little creepy, and I don't know if you want to see it. And I haven't finished it yet, but I'm very curious myself. So I hope you're interested in the sequel to this one, which is coming next week. Oh no, next week I have to do something with Easter coming up. So this sequel will probably then come around Easter time, after the next one. So this was a lot of fun, and I hope to see you next week. Bye!